Mess with people or mess with kids who don't have confidence. Boxing gives you confidence.
One of the ladies. Only one of the ladies, quick. No? Next then. Young man there.
Did you get to spend much time around Sugar Ray Robinson? Did he give you any good pointers?
You know what? I met Sugar Ray Robinson, probably after my career was over with, and he was my idol. Sugar Ray Robinson was my idol because I loved the way he moved. He was so smooth and everything. That was good too. He was so good. So I try to be like Sugar Ray Robinson. I try to be like my idol, Muhammad Ali. I try to be like my idol, Bruce Lee. I try to be like my idol, Elvis Presley. And I put those four together, and it became Sugar Ray Leonard.
So next. Danny.
What's the best piece of advice you could give to like a young pro come out through the ranks?
Well, you know what? The advice I would give any young boxer, amateur or professional, is the fact that you don't really play boxing. Boxing is a sport that demands your full attention. But to be the best, and it's not always the guy who has quick hands and everything. It's not just the guy who can hit so hard. But it's the guy who has the heart. Boxing is a sport that has that full attention, desire, but to be the best. Because he's a best. And it's not always the guy who has good hands and everything. It's not just the guy who can hit so hard. But it's the guy who has the heart, has that desire to win. Because, I mean, if you look at my career, there were fighters who they knew was going to beat me, like Tommy Hearns, like Marvelous Marvin Hagler, like Roberto Duran. I mean, these guys were the creme of the creme. They were the best of the best. I mean, they were living legends, and I beat them all because I wanted to win. Also, I was smarter than them. I was just they didn't come out the right way. But you know what? I would watch films on the guys who I had to face. Like with Roberto Duran, the first fight he beat me. He beat me because he got into my head. And the second fight, I used my hand speed. I used everything. I used the ring, and it made him so mad. He was so frustrated because I would do this and I would do this, and pow! And with Tommy Hearns, Tommy Hearns, have you guys seen him in person? Tommy in person? He's a big tall guy. He's my friend now, but he was so strong and so fast and it was so hard to beat him. But I kind of worked his body. With Marvelous Marvin Hagler, I beat him with speed and with finesse and what have you. But they all brought the best out of me like I brought the best out of them. You know, I mean, those guys are legends. In fact, talking about Hagler, Hearns, Duran, I'm putting on a tour, a world tour. We're going to come here also, where the four of us will travel around the world talking about our fights and what we meant to each other, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Yes.
What's your best moment in boxing? How you feel you fight this?
My best moment. Wow.
How you felt?
Well, you know, when I fought Tommy Hearns, that was because that was for the unification of the WBC, which I was champion, and Tommy Hearns was WBA, and we fought to unify the division. And that was my toughest fight. It was my most defining moment because Tommy Hearns had knocked everybody out, and they had scheduled him. They thought he was going to knock me out, but he was one of my biggest fights. But then again, Hagler was a big fight. It was a big win because no one thought I had a prayer because I had come out of retirement, because I retired so many times. I came out of retirement to fight him without a tune-up. And then Duran was a big fight, the second Duran fight, not the one I lost, but the second one. The second one, which the No Mas fight, and which he quit. I had some defining moments in my career. Yes.
What did you say was the most emotional part of you writing your book?
The most difficult thing was to talk about some of my character defects. The fact that I was, abused by Olympic coach. That was very difficult to talk about, sexual child abuse. And that was something I kept in my heart for over 40 years now.
You think it helped you in your career or not? With that being inside you, that feeling inside you?
You know, there's been debates and arguments about it made me a better fighter. I don't really know, to be honest with you, but I knew that one thing I knew I felt safer in the ring because I control whatever was in the ring. But what took place when I was a young kid, it bothered me for a long time. And now I speak out against sexual child abuse. I go around the world now talking about this because what happens when that happens to anyone, we keep it shut down in our heart. But you got to get it out because if you don't, it would take you away. But for me, where I'm in my life, I hold more value in not just being a world champion, but having the opportunity to come here and see you guys and give inspiration to someone who's down on their luck, or to some young kid who have ambitions of becoming a boxer or world champion or Olympic gold medal winner. That's what it's all about. It's all about giving back. And